All right, so what's going on? We are back here again with another video. This is fresh off the Aston Villa Freiburg Europa League final, and Aston Villa wins 3-0. I sent a text message to my friend during the game because we're both Dortmund fans, as you can see behind us, and as a Bundesliga supporter, our fan thing we have unique about us is the 50+1 rule, etc. But I sent a text message to my friend and I said, this final looks like an AAU team. If you're from the States and you play basketball, this looks like an AAU team where there is a full black team with a couple of white players, but everybody's good against an all white team with that one good black player. If you watch this final today, the difference in quality was terrible, man. With all due respect, as somebody who was an avid Bundesliga watcher more than most, considering that my team is in the Bundesliga, the difference in quality on the pitch was bad. It was very bad. On top of that, like John Nicholas Best, I don't know how he made it to Benfica. I remember when he first came into the league with Heidenheim, had that crazy season. He made his way to Benfica. Now he's at Freiburg. That was one of the worst matches I've ever watched from a winger. When your winger is consistently passing the ball back to where the commentary says they don't think he's passed the ball forward or made a move forward in general, you're having a problem. I'm just being completely real. You're having a problem if that's the case. And with all due respect to him, obviously he's made it to the highest level that I will never make it to. But for a winger, and this is a European final, a club who's not known for being in European finals in general, for you to give off that performance, that's bad. Johan Mazembe will obviously be the one black player that I was considering or talking about. Phenomenal player. I feel like there's nothing went wrong with him today. I wish he would have even got on the ball more. You can see him asking for the ball from teammates when they're consistently passing the ball sideways and forwards, and he's the one. I mean, sideways and backwards when he's the only one who wants to go forward. If you have a player that special, and this is his last year in Villa, last year in Freiburg, and this is your one chance, you have to get that player the ball. I'm sorry. With all due respect, you can tell he's levels above each and every one of you. And I granted he's only 20 years old, and some of you, some people hate on younger players, etc. He's the best player on your team, and everybody else is going backwards. Like I said, it's bad. Shout out to Villa though, man. Just looking at the goals here, so I can get a reminder. 3-0 was the score. Tielemans 41, Buendia 45 plus 3, and then Rogers 58. Morgan Rogers, exceptional player. Buendia, I kind of called the goal before it even happened. I was like, Buendia is a player who scores spectacular goals. I mean, he's insanely gifted, and if you give him enough space, they gave him enough space, and even this one was on the left foot compared to the right, and it was beautiful. Tielemans' goal was a volley. Like both of those goals, you're like, okay, you not really much you can do about it. Okay, we got to tip our cap. Then the last goal from Rogers, brilliant cross in from Luca Dean, I believe. Oh, it was John again. Well, yeah, it's probably John again. And then the ball goes in. Morgan Rogers beats his man to a spot goal. But the biggest thing for me is the difference in quality was terrible, man. 50+1, like I said, it's the culture of the Bundesliga. But man, if you look at a lot of teams in the league outside of us, and even we this year with Nico Kovac in charge, it's just not the best, and it's not going to be the best next year. He's already gave up on the league himself. So if you want to trash me for saying it's not going to be the best, I mean, I'm just relaying what the coach said. He's already shooting for second place, and we play a back three, et cetera. We lost to Tottenham that's fighting relegation, et cetera. Like it was just a bad year. But this is what I'm saying with the Bundesliga as a whole. Even if you look at our transfer record versus Dortmund, our transfer record fee is 35 million, I believe, or maybe a little bit more than that. I know we spent close to that on Job and the Metro, both. But that's the thing. Bayern is the only team that can splash around 70 million, et cetera, for a player. Even the Leverkusens, the Leipzig, et cetera, not really doing that. But yeah, the difference in quality in that game was so bad. That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about because it was bad to watch. It was very bad to watch. Um, Another thing is that I want to talk about today. Morten Holland. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I use FIFA a lot, so I should be saying it correctly. Is linked to Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho. That's the player that he really wants. He's a kind of 6/8, more of a six, can dictate the game, control the game. He's the Sporting CP right now. Really good player, which is very interesting, which considering you have Chouameni who already plays that six role, and Valverde as an eight, Bellingham more of a 10, but I watched him at Dortmund. He started as a six, then worked his way up to those positions. It's be very interesting to see where Morten fills in or where Jose Mourinho sees him at, especially if he throws him in that starting position. You could possibly see a double pivot. He did run that 4-2-3-1 at Benfica this year, so maybe Chouameni and him. Then the rest of those guys, so it'll be a battle for the 10 position. Who knows? Also, you have Nico Pop probably coming back in. So it's very interesting to see what Jose Mourinho has cooking up for that, especially with all the players, the young players who are supposed to be returning to Real Madrid. But a very good player. People talk about being club quality or quality for certain clubs, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, Liverpool's, Arsenal's, Man City's. I think he's a player who can fit right in. That's what I think about a lot of football fans who don't watch football specifically or only watch one league or one team. They look at these players. I was looking at Twitter because I really love to watch Twitter, especially during big games or big football matches. And just watching people talk about Mazambi, how many people were saying, "Oh, this is my first time seeing him," which is a shame. And I understand that more people have more time on their hands. With me specifically, with just graduating from college, if you're in college, you have a lot of time on your hands, especially during the time of and here in the United States when peak European games are going on. So looking at that, I had a lot of time to watch footy. That's also how I got into footy, and just seeing like people being able to watch more footy than people, which is crazy because people will like criticize me for being an American, which is crazy. Oh, you're American, you can't have no opinion on football. And I'm like, I watch more football than you. You know what I'm saying? When Yandi Monday was at Leganes for those last 7 games, I watched probably all of them, and I sent the text to my roommate very early. I can pull up receipts if I need to for any player that I've ever talked about. There's this kid Yandi Monday at Leganes. He's going to get a big move. I said that move ended up being Leipzig, and now we see what he's doing in Leipzig and how he's already linked to bigger clubs, 100 million feet. That's what and if you watch the last episode, I talked about how much I do with scouting, et cetera, starting off in a high school game over here in American basketball and then getting into football from that perspective. So I'm able to see guys like that. I'm able to see the Nicola Trusoldis, all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Another crazy shot right there was probably going to get a big move. I've seen read some things today, but main thing I want to talk about today was that difference in quality, and that I just saw in that game, literally just right after the game, recording this right now. Poland linked to Real Madrid, and then Cavs. I guess we can talk about the Cavs. Terrible choke, but you can say terrible choke, or you can just say Jalen Brunson really hooped. Just being completely honest, when we watched from Brunson, and then we watched from Wemby the night before, and then Brunson last night. Shout out to the game ones of both of the conference finals in the NBA right now. Shout out to both of the game ones in the conference finals right now in the NBA. James Harden, I won't speak on that. I listen a lot. There's a lot of people already speaking about it, but I will say that Max Kellerman quote was crazy. If you want to see what Max Kellerman said, go on Twitter. Trust me, crazy quote. But yeah, Thunder Spurs game 2 tonight. I got Thunder. I think it'd be pretty easy. Not pretty easy, but Thunder win somewhat convincingly because you definitely have to respond. I think Shea will definitely respond. Lakers kind of dropped that blueprint on the coverage. I think you're going to see more actions kind of with that Iverson cut or similar. Possibly Shea more off the ball, which is what I do specifically if it's me. But yeah, got the Thunder tonight. Game 2 tomorrow. I'm honestly, the Cavs may be done. When you blow a game like that, it's hard compared to the game that the Thunder and them had. But when you blow a game like that, it's hard. So yeah, the biggest thing I want to talk about today was the quality. I keep looking up because I'm watching the players get their medals right now. Freiburg players are getting their runners-up medal, and this is still a big achievement for Freiburg to make it to the Europa League final. So I want to say shout out to Freiburg on a very good season. They're probably going to get, their two best players are going to get sold probably. Noah Tabu, who's a goalkeeper. I really can't blame him for any of the 3 goals. And then Mazambi will definitely be sold for about 35 to 40 million to a bigger club this year. But shout out to Freiburg. But I think it was just bad to see the difference in quality compared to Villa. And obviously Villa, a top 5 Prem side. They've had a lot of success recently in Europe. They beat PSG, et cetera, in the Champions League last season, even though that was just like group games, et cetera. But big difference in quality for that compared to Freiburg, and it was sad to see. Honestly, it felt like Freiburg didn't even have a chance. They played well for 40 minutes. They were in there, but it was bad to see. And I think the Bundesliga will always have our values, and I appreciate the fans for that. They're real. They're true to that. They care about their values. That's real. 50 plus one is unique. It's not like any other league. I saw today they also shot down not having a title with the league. How you have Liga One, McDonald's, Serie A and Live, etc. They turned down the title. It would have been like Coca-Cola. I don't think it was Coca-Cola, but for example, it would have been like Coca-Cola Bundesliga or something like that. So they turned that down. They're always true to their values. So shout out to the Bundesliga for that. But yeah, I think it should be very interesting to see um, what's next, especially for Bundesliga clubs in Europe outside of Bayern. It's a guess. So hopefully things can improve. Shout out to Aston Villa. Shout out to Freiburg for a good season that they had, but shout out to Villa for winning it, obviously. Um, Holland, if he does go to Madrid, big pickup, great pickup for them. Or Holland, however you say it. I got to get that corrected. And then Thunder tonight, man. I think the Thunder wins the game. Shea goes for 30 probably. Um, but Wemby will get off too. Wemby will get off again. We'll be seeing from Wemby, man. Last game, but watching the Villa players get their Boubacar Kamara. They did this without no Kamara, which is crazy to think. You couldn't even tell that you missed him. He's an insane player. So, yeah, I think that's all we have for today. I'm looking forward to doing these. I'm really loving it so far. Have a lot of fun being back in the studio or being back, not necessarily in the studio, but being back recording me. So, leave a like and subscribe. And if you're new, this is our beginning equipment. So, you guys are going to get to see the journey of when the equipment upgrades, etc. And then when we get big, always manifest your dreams. When we get big, shout out to everybody who was here from day one. Thank you.